is building confidence in yourself, and I think that's a good confidence, especially for like young men or anyone really. I think I think for me, when I started off in middle school and stuff like that, which by the way, I won best dress in middle school, which is my biggest accomplishment to today.
I gotta say my biggest accomplishment would probably be when I won best hair in high school. So out of all the girls, all the guys, but I was so done with high school that I literally, they had like I remember getting done with my class and they were saying how like, oh Hunter, we're gonna have this ceremony at the end, you should be there. I was like, oh, but I can leave? And he's like, yeah, you can leave, but like we have to say, I'm leaving. Right. So I literally left, and so my sister had to like get the award for me. But for the record, I do have best hair, so shout out to the Grace Academy crew. Yeah, and I mean, I should have won best dress in high school, but hey, man, the guy got it. Robbed. Bless up to him. But no, my two biggest accomplishments, best dress and the fact that I'm 6'1". Like I can't live that down. Like that's my personality trait. That's my personality trait. that's everything. Honestly. Making a TikTok on that coming soon. Perfect. But building confidence, right? Because I think people could look at us now and say, oh, you guys are confident, cool, you guys have good style, whatever the case is. But I think that had to be built. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was times where, I was almost like 50 pounds heavier than that I am now. A lot of that confidence for me came by working out, losing weight, dressing for yourself. I think a lot of people do this. I'm plugging my TikTok again, but I just made a really good fall fit video on there. But I think it's all about confidence in that whatever you wear that you feel comfortable, but wearing stuff that fits your body. Like for instance, if you are a little bit overweight, don't wear skinny jeans, right? Like it's like those little tweaks that you have to make. Because I know when I was, chunkier. What do people say, like husky?
When I was a husky, right? I try to stay away from like the tight fitting stuff. Now that I'm basically Mr. Olympia, but you can wear like skinny jeans and stuff like that contour and fit your body more. Right. And that's a really big for me, and the confidence piece of like, okay, I feel fat and ugly, lose weight. Like, I mean, straight up though, because that's how people like, the real talk, that's how people think about their situation like that. Like, I feel ugly. Because when you're not confident in your either haircut or, let's say you have a lot of acne. I had a lot of acne growing up. Right. Those things make you feel ugly.
100%. Well, I think for me, like, I'm a big practical person. Mm-hmm. So I like to be able to have like a list of things that actually help me. And I feel like it really changed my self-image and stuff like that. Because I think at the end of the day, a lot of the confidence that you be able to instill in yourself comes from, at least in my opinion, your accomplishments. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's not like the super healthiest way to do it, but that's one of the best ways that I've been able to do it. Just to work on my body, work on like my career, like give yourself something to be proud of. I think was the biggest takeaway from me when thinking about like confidence and how I created that in my own life. And obviously it's still work in progress, and so we're not out here like 10 out of 10 confident all the time in every situation.
I'm perfect again, so I don't know what you're talking about. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, so speaking for me and everyone else.
Right. No,
but I think for me, like working on my body, like how I physically feel and how you look, dude. That's 100%. To me, that's like, if you don't do anything else, taking care of your body and
especially as men,
bro, you will feel so much better, man. Like, especially after you break like a personal record, you're eating clean, man. Like you feel good, you have energy. Like, just be able to create, like, we talk about this all the time, but creating that positive momentum. And I feel like the number one way to do that is definitely physically. Like, get in the gym, take care of yourself, and have pride in your body. And I think that's a huge thing that'll definitely help you, like, start to build that confidence.
Yeah, it makes you feel saucy, It's like, I've been working out, like, my muscles are popping more than they are. Like, you get a good pumping, you get that testosterone going in your body, you feel unstoppable. Yeah. And even, like, one workout session can make you feel more confident because, you stuck to this plan. I worked out 4 times a week. Right. I'd say starting out, people who really don't have a workout routine, start working out like 3-4 times a week. Right. And I would say don't worry about cardio too much. And I think especially because I know this, especially in my journey, that's one thing that I wish I did more in the beginning was just hit the weights way harder than I am. But now I'm like, I'm pumping it out. Yeah. And I've always kind of worked out, but I wish I would have hit weights harder earlier, instead of kind of like worrying about cardio and stuff like that. And now I kind of mix it. I do some jump rope like yourself, and I take some walks and everything like that. But my main workout thing is hitting the weights, because that's what's going to give you the physique that you want. That's going to give you the shape. That's going to give you broader shoulders, the biceps.
Well, Well, like you said, you start like just filling out your clothes more, like you feel good. I think to me, when I first started working out, I really underestimated how it made you feel, like even just like emotionally, man. Like I think they even call it like a cardio high when like you're just jumping. Like I do a lot of jump rope. I don't really like run necessarily, but like I mean, even when I was doing like stuff with the swim team, I was doing laps, man. Like you just feel like just. It's like this endorphin rush of just like confidence.
Yeah, the runner's high.
Good. Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
It feels great. Like you lift, you break your personal accomplishment. Like you feel powerful. You know, and I think that feeling can definitely resonate into other areas of your life for sure. Yeah. So I think to me, like number one, if we're like making a little list, is like get in the gym, start taking care of yourself, because that's number one by far for me.
Yeah, and I guess if we're listing them off, I think something else that you can work out in like tandem with that is kind of like your confidence when you're speaking to people. And I think this is actually probably a harder one for me to talk to because I've always naturally been outgoing. So I try to think of like the frame of somebody who isn't like that, because I understand that, you know, people go into situations and they don't feel comfortable talking to people, but a lot of that is based on, you know, what they do when they're not around people, right? So are you naturally shelled in? Are you not confident in what you're wearing? All that kind of stuff. Because I think to me, this is when I feel unstoppable. When I've had a good workout, when I have my hair cut, good workout, haircut, and a good outfit on. Like, you can't tell me anything. And some good cologne on. Bro, you can't tell me anything, right?
100%.
And so I think when you even do little stuff like that, right? And, you know, we like the more expensive colognes and stuff like that, but even kind of getting something that's not that expensive, but definitely don't get Axe, don't get any of that stuff.
Yeah, guys, like whatever, the Old Spice, Axe. I mean, for the guys, man, I'm not sure like what the female equivalent of that would be.
Like something from Secret, Victoria's Secret, like the pink or whatever. Like.
Yeah, no, 100%. I guess I would like to speak for the guys because I'm more aware of like the men's fragrance side than like the women's necessarily, but like. Yeah, 100%, guys. Invest in a good cologne. I mean, whether it's like Dior Sauvage, Chanel de Bleu, like even if it's like one of those basic, like really popular.
Yeah, ones. Like maybe like $125.
Yeah, bro, they're popular for a reason, man. Like how you smell, it has like an impact on people, and if anything, it can be a really good conversation starter. How you walk by people, like, oh, like what are you wearing? You smell really good, and that just boom, instant conversation starter.
I mean, even little stuff, just like you know. Making yourself clean, like something that like I see a lot of guys don't do is like get their hair cut on an often. You know, just always feeling, because that to me builds confidence. When you look good, you feel good. You know, that's an age old saying, but it's true, right? Like if you like don't have like dirt under your nails and all that little stuff, that like girls don't really like that. Like I've been told by several girls like, oh, you look clean, oh, you smell clean, and just from that, it's kind of like gives me an entryway, and they feel more comfortable because they're like, oh, this dude takes care of himself.
Well, no, I think it's an easy way to stand out. You know what I mean? Because I think to me, a lot of like what builds that confidence is you being able to have pride in yourself that like you are worth taking care of, and whether that's like physically in the gym, or that's mentally like reading through books and like being able to work on yourself, getting a skill. Basically, it's the concept of investing yourself and believing that you're worth investing in. That's why, like, you know, I think especially for guys, are really easy to dismiss like the whole like fashion world and stuff. But guys, if you really take the time to actually like build up your wardrobe, get a collection of like fragrances that smell really good, like I mean, you'll instantly stand out, man. It's because most people are not putting in the work. Most people are not thinking about piecing together outfits and stuff. So whenever you're that person who's doing that, you're gonna stand out way easier.
And to give another practical tip, I'll go first so you can think about it because I've been thinking while you're talking. 3 of your favorite books. So I'm gonna spew mine off real quick. Right. I'm gonna say Psycho-Cybernetics, Life Changing. As a Man Thinketh, which we mentioned in another podcast, life-changing. I would read those together, and then Atomic Habits. I think especially as a man, and I know we keep on, you know, I keep on saying that, but if you read those books, they will change your life. Like I promise you. Like I'm looking in the camera right now. Like those books will change your life. Just to help, you know, Psycho-Cybernetics, how you think and how can you, you know, become a new person. As a Man Thinketh. Again, you know, becoming a new and changing your mind and changing the way you think so you can, you know, have that success that you want in your life. And then Atomic Habits sets you up for, and I think we talked about this before, because Atomic Habits goes deeper than just like a regular habit. It goes into your identity. And so I think I mentioned this like the last podcast, but you know, if I see myself as an athlete working out, this is actually on my affirmation page of what I'm about to say right now, because I have a list of affirmations that I read off. I try to read off every morning, but one of them is I'm an athlete, so working out every day comes easy to me. Right. You know, I work out every day to build a physique that is uncommon. Like, I say those stuff to myself so I can have those mental triggers of like, no, this is my personality. This is who I am. So I'm changing the identity in myself as I'm saying these things like, yeah, I'm an athlete. Yeah, I'm a multimillionaire. Yeah, I'm a first generation millionaire. Stuff like that. You know, you have to speak those things into existence. But that's my 3 books. Psycho-Cybernetics, As a Man Thinketh, and Atomic Habits.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, even as far as the, like, going back to the confidence thing, I think, like, holding yourself accountable and having expectations for yourself, I think is very important. Because I remember, I don't know who I was talking to about this, but they essentially said, because I have a lot of goals, I have, like, yearly goals, I have quarterly goals and stuff, and I think someone said to me, like, oh, well, don't you feel like if you don't hit those goals, it's going to, like, break down your self-esteem? And it's like, no, if anything, even if I don't get to what I'm aiming for, I at least want to have something that I'm aiming for to be able to go after and to work for, and then eventually I might get, so maybe it's not this year, but maybe it's the next year I'll get it. Because I think just having something that you're expecting out of yourself and being able to push yourself past what you're normally used to doing, I think is important. And especially, like, I'm a big list person. So when I have, like, a big goal and I finally hit it, man, it feels good to be able to say, like, I was here, I was aiming for this, I got it, and now you feel like you're on a new level, and to be able to create that momentum in your life. And so I think having goals and being able to have those expectations for yourself has been a game changer for me. To be able to hold yourself accountable, because you can do way more than you think you can do.
And there's a podcast by Andy Verseller called 1,000 Days. You have to listen to it. I may have sent it to you, I'm not sure. But the premise of it is, you know, look back on your last 1,000 days and have you done the things that you said you were going to do? Have you really stuck to that workout plan, that diet, you know, getting better at speaking, getting better in your confidence, have you really stuck to those things? Now, if you haven't, look at the next 1,000 days ahead of you. So it's a duality. You're looking at what happened and then you're looking at the future. So the last 1,000 days I was BSing, you know, like, we can be straight up, right? And then these next 1,000 days, I'm going to make sure that each day that I show up, each day I conquer the day. You know, Andy Frisella has this, you know, win the day, right? It's a power list that you write down, and, you know, you really get your goals. And it's only 3 things. I think why, you know, and I'm really speaking to myself right now too, because a lot of the times we have these big goals, but they're so big that we can't achieve them because they seem like it's a mountain to get over instead of breaking it down. It was this TikTok that I was listening to, like, yesterday, right? Like, he went through the steps of, like, a big goal. Like, the first thing is, you have a big goal, then you write it down, and then you right next to that you write down, like, the practical steps. Like, okay, if by the end of the year, or let's say, because what is it's whatever month it is, but it's October. It's October, right? Let's say by February I want to be fit. Okay, what do you have to do, right? Yeah, maybe you may be 30 pounds overweight, but each day what you can do is, you know, I'm going to work out 4 times a week, at least 45 minutes. At least 45 minutes, I think is good, right? By the time February, you may not be at your goal by February, but you'll be that much closer. And so it's just about chopping those goals down and see what you have to do. So the first thing is, like, have a workout plan, have an eating plan, stick to this thing, get MyFitnessPal, these little things. So this big goal seems like, oh, I just have to win the day. Right? And that's such a powerful, just win each step. Don't try to win the big thing. And I'm telling you, I'm preaching to myself right now, because, you know, I think we do that. We have this big goals, like, I want to be a millionaire, I want to do all that. It's like, okay, first start off, like, what does it take to get there? Like, reverse the progress of it, right? It's like, I want to be a millionaire. Okay, well then, whatever field you're in, or like, we're in business. So for me, it's like, okay, cool. I know that means I need to latch on, you know, 5 clients a month. Okay, how much does each client net me a month? You know, those little things, making the big goal little bite size.
Not 100%. Well, because I think that's what makes it practical. And I think even if you're working on, like, your social game, for example, like, just making a habit of, like, just talking to just, like, a random, like, a barista at Starbucks and, like, giving them a compliment. I think just being able to have these really reasonable daily momentum building habits. Like, it's just such a big thing. I mean, I keep on going back to it because it's been very true for my life. How, like you said, if you have a massive goal, it can feel very unattainable. It feels like you're just writing stuff down just to, like, you know, motivate yourself or whatever. But to have, like, daily implementable, realistic expectations of what you're going to do every day to get towards that thing, I think that's what's really going to make the difference.
And I think you have to challenge yourself at least one week. Do something that makes you feel uncomfortable, because at a certain point, that builds confidence either, because it's like, oh wait, I just did that. Well, I just talked to that pretty girl in the library or in the coffee shop. It's like, well, I'm really stepping out of myself. Again, I think it's easy for me because I'm naturally charismatic and I'll go talk to anybody. But I think when you step out of yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to go talk to that guy, or I'm going to talk to that, girl at the coffee shop, right? Even if they have no interest, I think the win in that is not their reaction to what you said, but the fact that you did it. And some people lose that. Sometimes it's not like, sometimes, the success is not necessarily, the outcome of it. It's just the fact that you did it.
Right. Well, it's almost like, to me, it's like breaking like your validational addiction. How sometimes a lot of the times we do things, like the reason why we do certain things is for other people's validations or to get a reaction. And like I said, sometimes like approaching somebody is not even for them or the outcome of whatever that could be. Half the reason is just like, because hey, I did this, I approached this person, I started this business, I did whatever I wanted to do because I thought I couldn't do it. And so the win is just approaching that person and just saying hi. Like having that like I've already won mentality is definitely going to help in terms of, once again, building momentum, building confidence. And once you get those reps in, once you get those wins, I remember a pastor that we used to listen to talks about the idea of having a list of things that you actually accomplished and they can be proud of. So whenever you're feeling down about yourself or you lost confidence, you can refer to this list of things that you're genuinely proud of, and it'll be able to, once again, create momentum. You feel better about yourself, and then you're back on track.
And again, I think a lot of us, because I have these two thoughts of like making goals big and also making them small. Because a moment ago I was like, the big goal or something like that, but maybe it's a really small goal. Like, hey, I just want to be consistent in reading 10 pages a day. Like something real, something real chill to where it's like let's say you take one of those books that I mentioned, like Amir, I think the way you talked about those books is amazing. Maybe I'll go pick up Psycho-Cybernetics, which if you want an easy start up, just get As a Man Thinketh, right? Because it's a thin book, man. So it's like you can knock that out in a day, and I'm a slow reader, right? It takes me, like an hour to read a page, not that long, but you get what I mean. Like it takes me a long time to get through it because I'm like getting stuck on each word. Like, okay, what does that mean? Right. So I really try to take the text apart. Yeah. But that being said, right, just get one little small goal. Hey, I want to read 10 pages a day, right? And then just that alone, I feel like will boost your confidence. Like, I said what I was going to do. Like I did that, and it makes you feel good about yourself, man. Like, yo, I did that,
Well, and that, like, you can trust yourself. Because how many times have you set a goal or said you were going to do something and you didn't do it?
I'll start Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Every time you do that, what you're doing is, like, you're creating doubt within yourself. And so that way, when you tell yourself you're going to do this goal or you're going to have some kind of habit in mind, you don't do it, you're slowly losing that trust between yourself and, I guess, your own subconscious. And that creates this cycle, once again, negative momentum of doubt. Because, like, every time you say, oh, no, this time is going to be different, I'm going to start a goal, because you haven't followed up in the past, it's going to create this doubt, which that doubt is going to lead to a lack of action. So like you said, being able to have those baby bite-sized steps, easy wins, easy momentum, and then just go from there.
Yeah, I think that's really good. So we talked about, fitness. I think something that we can even talk about even more is kind of like because I think a lot of people are kind of socially awkward and not knowing how to like read the room and stuff like that.
Oh, well, especially with COVID, man. Well, I think COVID just caused it, especially for us, man. I mean, we had to like break out, not that we were ever like socially awkward necessarily, but we work from home, we have our own little routines. Like we don't really like live in the city or anything, so we don't just like walk to places and just like run into a whole lot of people. And so I think it's really easy to be able to get lost in your own bubble and be able to just kind of be to yourself. And so when you're in a crowd environment, you have all these new people. It can feel like a big jump, especially if you feel like you spend a lot of time by yourself and then you're in a room full of people and you see someone you want to talk to, and it can be kind of intimidating to go over there and talk to them. That's why I feel like those baby steps of like talking to the barista, talking to just like a person you bump into and give them a compliment, like just whatever momentum you can build to lead up to that is going to help so much more than you just going from being home alone all day to jumping into whatever you want to do. That gap feels huge.
Yeah, and I think you said two things, right? Like talking to the barista. I think the two easiest ways to break the ice, and this is like my go-to with everything, is just, well, I say three. Just saying hi, making the person laugh, or saying like, oh, like that shirt is really cool, or your energy is so fun.
Everyone likes a compliment. Everyone likes a compliment, bro.
You take one of those and more like 9 times out of 10, so they're gonna entertain you, right? They're gonna be, oh, thank you. Oh, your shirt is cool too. And then from there, you guys are like having this conversation about, whatever. But just taking that little small step of like, hey man, like that's a cool shirt. It's like, oh, I appreciate that, Right. And then you never know where that could stem from. It's like, oh man, like actually, like, do you always come to this coffee shop? It's like, I do. And then next thing you know, you have like a friend,
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, if I had to go back to the book thing, for me, I would say the number one book when it comes to social game, and shout out to Armand for putting me on this book, because it's honestly like changed my whole perception of people and social situations, all that stuff, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's got to be my top 3, man, because like that just really showed me what people psychologically care about, what people expect out of others. Man, it's just such a good book about how to like I said, just how to win friends and influence people, man. It's such a good book for social games. So like I think any, guy, girl, whatever, like that's an easy book to get into, man. So many just good gems in there. Like you'll never go wrong.
Actually, I want to do a full podcast, get our full like book list and just like go through each one. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, why not?
I think reading books and even kind of, I think it's good to actually read the book. Like that's what I've been doing recently. But even if you just get Audible, I think it's like $13 a month. You get Audible while you're working out. Look, you're killing you. What is it? 2 birds with 1 stone. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone because they're like, I'm working out, so I'm getting this pump, and I'm also listening to Psycho-Cybernetics. Like, look at that. Yeah. And so you got this duality of like, I'm working out and I'm getting smarter and I'm getting
and then on top of that, you're also becoming more proud of yourself. I think to me, that's what a lot of confidence is, man. It's just like have something to be proud of yourself about. You know what I mean? You stay true to your word. They take care of yourself. You got an A on that test. They walked up to that cute person you want to talk to. Like whatever that is, man. Like just start getting some wins, dude. It's huge.
And we talked about that, getting wins. Like always, try to always get that little win, get that dart on the board, right? Like that's our thing. Like even from the beginning, like we were just like, let's just get this win, right? So whatever that looks like in this season, it's like, again, like let's say the mountain is I want to acquire 10 clients. My brain only thinks in business because that's what we do. But let's say I want to get these 10 clients. Just get one or just start talking to people, right? Start sending 10 messages a day. And look at that. You have your one client and maybe it may take you 3 weeks, but eventually, you'll get that first client and be like, wow, like I put in the work to do this. Yeah. And again, you're building confidence within yourself. You're building trust within yourself towards like, I can do this. I know I can do this.
Well, no, and a big theme for me this week that's been on my mind a lot has been the concept of nothing worth having will be given to you. You know what I mean? So you have to go out and get it. Like you're not just gonna wake up one day with your dream body. You're not gonna be Amazon Prime. Your dream, partner. Right. Like all these different, like your dream business. Like none of these things are just gonna be handed to you. And so confidence is a big deal, man. That belief. And that's why people's like, oh, like a lot of the confidence and the mentality stuff is a bunch of rah-rah. Well, it's really not, because like that mentality is going to dictate your actions. If you don't believe you can do something, you're not going to try. And if you do try, it's going to be a real just half, like, I don't care kind of effort. But if you really build up that genuine belief that you can do it and you're capable of success, that's going to be able to have so much more momentum and you're really going to hit it. And that way, you'll be able to create that positive momentum of like, man, I told you I was good at this. See, I told you I could do that. Yeah. And it just starts to get you in the right direction, man. So that certainty is huge, man. Before you even take action, you have to believe that you can do it genuinely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to. I think that's the only way to move forward in that. I lost my train of thought what I was going to say. But no, I think you hit that good, though. Building mental toughness as well is a good thing. Again, doing hard things to come out of yourself, like it's almost like becoming a butterfly, in their shell. I'm breaking out, I'm becoming this new thing. I think it's scary, but I think at the end you will like pat yourself on the back and like happy that you tried something new and that you stepped forward.
Well, that's a part of the game, man. And like you have to be willing to fail. And I think I love what Jocko Willis says about like failing and stuff. He's like, oh, like you went through adversity, like good. There's work to do. And I think for me, like having that mentality of just like there's always work to do, there's always ways to improve yourself is so important, man, because it's so easy to be able to get really discouraged whenever you fail. Because I think if anything, what I've been trying to train myself of recently is just to desensitize myself to not really feel the sting of failure. Because, man, I think it's a superpower. If you can genuinely be unfazed by a girl like brushing you off when you walk up to her, you hit someone up, they don't respond to you, you starting a business and it's not working out. If you can just really detach yourself emotionally from that rejection and realize it's actually an opportunity to get better, dude, that's going to be like a superpower, man. You're going to be unstoppable.
And what I've realized, all of my books are not really about business or money or anything. All of them is the mental game. Because what I've realized is that is 95% of the game. Yeah. And then the rest of that 5% is, what you're doing or whatever. Yeah, but if logistics. If you can get the mental game down, you've won, right? Like building that mental toughness, like not really caring about your failures, not really like shaking up, that girl didn't text me back or whatever. Like, if you can shake that stuff off and become mentally tough, then that also builds confidence, right? Yeah. Like that's kind of the through line of this whole conversation is the confidence building. Because once you're mentally tough and you have that strain on your mind of like, I can do this thing and you step forward, and then you start to build confidence. Once you have the mental down and you have the confidence down, those two pieces you're unstoppable, right? Just think about the several times where you had like this courageous confidence doing something, you're like, dang, like I just did that. Like I just hit that person up like a client or a girl or whatever like that. You're like, whoa, like I'm shooting my shot. Like, she may be a couple levels over me.
Well, no, that's the thing. I mean, another part too is you never know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people are very quick to dismiss themselves from possibilities in their life. I guess just based on their own reflection of how they see themselves. Mm-hmm. And truth is, man, you never know what can happen. So I've been in a big mode of like, dude, let's just go for it, man. Mm-hmm. Like life is short. You are not guaranteed the next day, the next year,
moment.
The next 5 years. So it's like, man, like you got to really make sure it's like not on some YOLO stuff, but it kind of is in the sense of like, man, you got to go for it, dude. If there's something, if you want to talk to that girl, if you want to start that business, if you want to start the podcast, if you want to quit your job, like whatever it is, man, like you need to be able to do it while you can. Because you're not promised any amount of time, man. And I think regret is really scary.
And I think, you say you're not even guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed the next moment, right? And I think, we don't think about that often. Like, just like, think about how many people our age, didn't wake up today, right? Like that's crazy. It gives perspective of like, oh wait, maybe I should stop overthinking that thing. Maybe I should do that because it's like, there's literally people our age, people younger than us that didn't even wake up today. And so it's like you have the privilege. I feel like you almost have. Like it's on you to do that. Like I feel like you're almost selfish if you don't, because it's like, dang, like you have this opportunity. That's what. When I'm working out hard, I think about that all the time. I think of people who are paralyzed. I think of like older people who want to work out but they can't because their bones are like that. So when I'm running, like the other day, I think I did like a 5K, so that's like 3.2 miles of running nonstop. Yeah, I did. I did that the other day, and as I was running, like my body was tired. I was really hurting, but then I thought, I'm like, there's somebody in a wheelchair who would die to be in my position, who would die to run again, to lift the weight again. And I was running, and after I was done, like I almost collapsed because I was really like, it really hit me because I haven't ran in like 3 weeks, so it was like it really hit me crazy, and I was like, whoa. But I was like, I'm glad I feel like this right now because I pushed myself. Whereas if someone would die to be in that position and they can't even walk, and who am I to be, my legs hurt, I'll be fine, right? So it's like, that's the same thing with like lifting heavy, like, this thing is heavy, push it off your chest and keep going, right?
Because you can. You know what I mean? Like, do things while you can. Like, I don't want to have like this morbid kind of undertone to a lot of this stuff, but it's like, the reality is, man, like,
you're gonna die.
Not guaranteed. You are going to die at some point, and it's like, make the most of your time. Even for me, man, like having the awareness of like, just enjoying my youth, man. Like, just do stuff while I can. Like, what specific things can I do while I'm young that I can't do when I'm older? Like you said, like, go run for 3 miles. I'm like, enjoy the feeling of your youth. You know what I mean? Do things that you can only do while you're young. Like, travel or, work out or whatever it is, man. Like, enjoy these moments and be very present. Because that's something that, as I've gotten older, I tend to appreciate more. It's just like my time, my surroundings. And even like you said, man, there's a lot of people like in other countries like who would die to be in America.
Die, man.
You know what I mean? So like to be young again, to be fit, to have friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just being grateful and coming from a frame of I'm alive today. Like honestly, man, like ever since I've adopted that mentality, I've been genuinely thankful to wake up every day.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, not everybody gets to wake up. Not everybody gets to have another day. Not everyone gets to live in the country that we do, eat the clean food that we do. It's just, there's so many, like, I'm so blessed, man, honestly. So it's an unbelievable opportunity.
Yeah, Ryan Holiday has a book called Ego is the Enemy. I read that I didn't tell you about that. That's a good book, man. Ego is the Enemy. He also has this thing called I'll put it on the screen. I cannot remember what it is, but it's basically like that idea of you're going to die one day. Full stop. Yeah.